Hello and welcome to today's video. This is a very exciting one. Late last year, December time, Heartstopper volume 5 came out and I haven't got around to reading it, and it's now February and I really want to make time for it. So my plan is over this weekend, it's Friday evening now, which is why it's a bit dark and dreary, but my plan is for over this weekend to read Heartstopper volume 5. However, these are like such cute lovely graphic novels. It only takes me like half an hour to an hour to read each one, and it's been ages. I read volume 4 when volume 4 came out, which I think was well over a year ago now, probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years, something like that. So my plan is not only to read volume 5 but to also pick up volume 4, volume 3, volume 2 and volume 1 and basically reread the first 4. I have read them before and I've absolutely loved all of them, but I'm planning on rereading them and then getting to number 5, which I've never read before. And I thought it might be like cute to come along on the journey, have some Heartstopper time. I'll probably like read them and film a bit of b-roll whilst I'm reading them. I'll tell you my thoughts at the start, tell you my thoughts at the end. And then I also have been really good at keeping my reading journal this year, so I'll probably do some reading journaling as well. We don't have many plans for the weekend, but tomorrow we are planning on going out for lunch, and then we do have an event at the evening. And then on Sunday we plan on going for a walk. I just thought this could make a really cute little thing to do. So not only rereading the first 4 but also reading the 5th for the first time. So yeah, this evening I'm going to pick up Heartstopper volume 1. So this is volume 1 of Heartstopper. On the back of this one it simply says boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love, and that is the very basics of what we get from this. And then what I can really say about this is not our first time meeting Nick and Charlie. Nick and Charlie are featured a little bit in the Alice Oseman book Solitaire, which is a book that follows Tori, who is Charlie's sister. So we do see them mentioned in that one, but this is our first look at Nick and Charlie having their own story, all in this very lovely graphic novel format. And in volume 1 it pretty much is what it says on the back. We get to see them meet, we get to see this relationship progress, and it's just a really lovely little time, and I can't wait to reread it and spend, you know, the next half an hour to an hour just being in this world and thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah, if you want to come along with me for this one and the other 4, then keep on watching. Okay, hello. I finished Heartstopper volume one. This is the book. I'm gonna put it down so I can give this big fluffy bum some fuss. But yeah, I finished it. I had such a lovely time with it. I really forgot how much of this book is just like Nick and Charlie. I feel like from where, at least where I've read up to in the series, we know the friends so well, we know the friendship group so well. The one thing I really forgot was how little we see of anyone else in this book except for Nick and Charlie, and like really is just like revolving around them. But yeah, I had such a good time. I feel like you come out of this one being a little bit annoyed at Nick, but overall just like really rooting for them and really wanting like good things for both of them. So yeah, it was a really lovely time. I forgot about so many of the little moments. There were so many moments that like had just stick my mind of just like them getting to know each other, like them being friends. Like quite a lot of it is kind of, I don't know if this is the correct word to use for a graphic novel, but if it was like a TV show or a film, it would be like a montage. So I assume that that word also is meaning the same in graphic novel format. But yeah, I really forgot about so much of those like little like montagey sequences and like all the different stuff that you got to see. And obviously like we do see a little bit of other people, so like Tori just being like, I don't think he's straight. It was just like so like, yeah, like that happened, like well, okay. It's, yeah, it was so funny, it was so good, and I was just smiling throughout it. Like it was a really good, lovely time. So yeah, I don't know if I'll read any more tonight. It is already after 8, so we'll check in before I pick up book 2, whenever that may be. It'll either be later tonight or in the morning, but yeah, we'll wait and see, and then we'll get on to volume 2. Good morning. So I've got volume 2. I've got my mug. It's actually of J2O, but I like it in a mug because it makes me feel like I'm starting my morning. And yeah, we're going to read volume 2 this morning, wake up with it, and I'm really excited about it. So on the back of this one, we don't really have a proper synopsis or anything, but we do have like a mobile screen where we can see some text messages. So it looks like the text messages are coming from Nick, and it says, "You still okay to come over tomorrow? Because I sort of had an idea. Do you want to go on a proper date?" And the reply is, "OMG, yes of course, what should we do?" And then the reply is, "Can I make it a surprise?" And the reply is, "OMG, okay, I'm so excited, as usual." So that's kind of what we know going into this one. And yeah, I think this one is, if I remember correctly, just some like building upon what we left volume 1 on. And yeah, obviously we've got a long way to go, like they're not in a relationship or anything, but we're going to see everything develop in volume 2, and I'm very, very excited to read it again. I don't think I've read this one. This one since volume 3 came out, maybe, something like that. I'm not sure, but either way, it's been a very long time. It's been a few years, so very, very excited. Okay, hello. I finished volume 2. It was really, really good. It was 5 stars. Honestly, like, I already know that volumes 1 to 4 are going to get 5 stars. Like, I love them all. And obviously I assume volume 5 will as well. But yeah, volume 2 was really, really good. It was kind of, it was a little bit further on than volume 1. It was kind of them admitting their feelings to each other. So like it started out with like that just a little bit further on, even though it's like the next morning, like, you know, there wasn't a time jump or anything. It was like them admitting the feelings to each other, to them actually like fully, I guess, understanding those feelings and like making things official was like kind of that story arc. And then we also had Nick have more of his own story arc in this one, and it really was Nick being able to like figure himself out and like figure out his sexuality, and that was a really interesting like way to do it as well, because it really just start out with like Charlie just being like, oh, like, well, you might not be gay, you could be, and like throwing a word at him to saying like bisexual. It just like goes from there of like Nick just like really figuring this out, and honestly like him like telling his mom and like explaining to his mom being like the end scene of this volume was just like so perfect. It was so lovely and so like nice to see, and it really kind of felt like the actual, I guess, like exploration and like self-understanding of his own identity was kind of like really done throughout this volume. We also get to see more of the friends in this one, and like I feel like this is like how I kind of remember the friends to be. What I will say is, because obviously like most recently I've watched the TV show, like when the TV show has been coming out I've been watching it, and I didn't realise how shocked I would be to see Alid rather than seeing Isaac, and it made me realise just how good the TV show is. Like the TV show is such an amazing adaptation of these graphic novels, and it really just brings them to life in such a different way, but also in its own way. Like the graphic novels are still amazing and still stand up, but like the TV show is also amazing, and it was really interesting to see like Alid be with the group of friends, and like in the TV show it's Isaac with the group of friends. Like they changed the character out because Alice Oseman has wrote a story about Alid, like a novel story, so I think it was like swapped out because that would be a lot to get into if you're also doing like Alid's full story in the TV show. So Alid is not in the TV show, Isaac is, and it was so interesting to see like how they don't just fit into the friendship group. And you know, this friendship group is such a lovely group, and you can really see how it's going to keep expanding, like the, you know, lots of different people, and yeah, it was just really really nice. Oh, and then the only other thing that I really noticed in this, other than it just like being lovely and cute and great, and I guess I should say, although I'm not going into detail talking about anything, I'm going to mention things that you might consider spoilers, so if you've never read them, like this might not be something that you'd be aware of going into them. But in later books we do see Charlie struggling with his eating, struggling with consuming food, and I didn't realise in volume 2 on a reread I noticed a point where Charlie was stressed and Charlie didn't eat. And I don't know, like obviously if someone has this sort of problem it's going to be with them for a long time, but it was just one little thing, and I don't think I'd have noticed that on the initial read of it, because on the initial read it would have just been like him saying like, oh, I'm not hungry, but like putting it together with how we see things progress, it was really interesting to see that groundwork kind of like already laid in. And I think that could be one of the reasons why like this just works so well, because like this is obviously like a very thought out series. Like we know the start, we know the end, and we really like have all those points. So I feel like, you know, the author is really able to lay those foundations for everyone and every story she wants to tell. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will be taking book 3 out with me. We're going out for lunch, with me and my dad going out for lunch. I'm going to take book 3 with me. I don't know if I'll get a chance to read it or not. If I don't, then I'll probably just show you my lunch, and we're going to a garden centre, so maybe there'll be some plants as well. But yeah, that's it for now. And then we're out tonight as well. We don't normally go out at all, so it's quite odd for us to have so many things going on this weekend. But so I don't know, hopefully I'll have time to read book 3 today, and I will see you later on. Okay, hello. So I didn't actually record anything properly in the garden centre by the looks of it. I've just like uploaded everything onto the computer. Yeah, I showed you my food, and that really is probably the most important part of it. But yeah, I went to the garden centre. It was really nice. We had a nice time. Got some presents for this evening. Ate some good food. I had a chat. It was, however, too late to read. I only had about like 5 minutes by myself before everyone was ready to like order their food and then talk, but it was too late to read, so I didn't actually manage to pick this up. So yeah, I did take it with me. I did get it out. It was on the table. I just didn't manage to read it, but I am gonna give it a go soon. Basically the plan is Jay wants his haircut, So I'm going to cut Jay's hair, have a shower, and then I need to get ready. But I don't want to get ready too soon because I don't want to sit around in like uncomfy clothes. So I think I'm going to read this after my shower before I have to get ready. So I'll bring you along. On the back of this one it says, "Dear Tori, Paris is amazing. Me, Nick and all our friends are having the best time. Although there's been some drama with Tao and, well, a lot has happened. I'll tell you about it when I get home. Charlie." And I think what's important to know about this one is, like, pretty much, if I remember correctly, the entire thing is set on a school trip to Paris, which I think they're there for about a week. So that's the kind of plan, that's what we're going into it with. And yeah, I'm really excited to pick it up again. This is probably the one that I think in my head I have the most memory of, because not necessarily from like the source of this, but season 2 of the Netflix show, I'm pretty sure, was just focused on volume 3 of the graphic novel series. So I think that came out 3-4 months ago, so I watched it when it came out. So yeah, very excited to pick this one up and give it a go. Before after.
Hey.
I'm back. I read maybe a third before going out, maybe a third, and I want to read a bit more, but I'm really tired, so I don't think I'm going to finish it this evening. I'm not going to be able to like film the reading process of this section, just because like as soon as Jay gets into bed the big light's going to go off, so you're not really going to be able to see much if I even try to film it. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it. We've only just got to the actual Paris trip section, so already like it's different to what I remember. Like, you know, a lot of it was like the build up and like seeing the build up, and we've also already started broaching like more serious topics. Like I would say like mental health and self-harm have already been touched on within like this first section, and it's also been showing some like not so nice people's reactions to Nick and Charlie, as well as some lovely reactions as well. So yeah, it's really been, I don't know, like starting. I'm excited, and I'm excited to continue on in the book. My battery is also flashing, but I don't know why I pointed, you can't see it, but it's on the screen, my battery's flashing. So yeah, I'm gonna read a bit more. I'm really enjoying it so far, and yeah, just as good as I remember. I'm curious as to how much of the Paris trip I remember from the book and how much of it only happened in the TV show. So yeah, really excited to find out. I will probably finish it in the morning and I will check in then. So I finished book 3 this morning. Yeah, it was really, really good. It's 5 stars. Are we surprised? No. But yeah, I managed to get up, charge my camera, read book 3, and I've even filled in my reading journal for books 1, 2 and 3. You'll either have already seen that like little b-rolly bits that I filmed, or I'll have be inserting them over me talking now. But I'm really, really happy with how it looks. I think it looks really cool. So this is books 1, 2 and 3 over on this side. I haven't really added much. I added a couple of speech marks at the top here near where my nose is pointing. I added a couple of love hearts down the bottom here, and then except for that there's like one piece of paper up this corner, and that's like the same type as paper as what I'm going to tie into the bottom of the other page when I read books 4 and 5. But yeah, in terms of book 3, really enjoyed it. I forgot just how much of it was set before Paris, like how much of it was like the lead up to that and preparation for that. But then all the stuff that we saw actually in Paris and like going around, it was so good. It was so like lovely to see, and you really got to see like the whole friendship group being together. And I feel like kind of like this book was kind of both Nick and Charlie learning to be comfortable and be themselves around their friends, like being like, I guess not comfortable, I guess like confident enough. I don't know the exact word, but it was really them just being like, oh, like, you know, we're happy together, we've got this here, we've got this foundation, we can do this around our friends as well, and like really just taking that step there. And yeah, it was really, really lovely to see. We also got to see lots of little snippets of other people's relationships in this one as well, which was nice. I think we got a little bit of Tara and Darcy, a little bit of Tao and Elle, and a little bit of the 2 teachers as well, and it was just really nice. It was really lovely, and it was really nice to see. And I did definitely really enjoy those added bits. So yeah, we also ended this one, I mean, on like nice notes. Like everyone was happy, everyone was doing their thing, but at the very end of this one we see Charlie googling how to tell someone that you love them. And then we see Nick very worried and very concerned about Charlie googling eating disorders. And it was only like a very little bit at the end, like there was mention of Charlie's struggles throughout, but it was only really this little bit at the end where we kind of see how worried Nick is. And I feel like those 2 things are kind of like, if I'm remembering correctly, very much like what we're going to see, what we're going to figure out, what we're going to explore in volume 4. And I think the tone, how it did kind of just switch to them, you know, they've both gone their separate ways, they're both in the car on their phone, and one's googling this one thing, one's googling this other. Like the tone it kind of set, I think if I'm remembering correctly, sets up volume 4 really, really well, and really shows you what to expect from next volume. So yeah, I am going to pick up volume 4 very, very shortly. I will tell you about it now. This is volume 4. This is my favourite cover, I think. Like this cover, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's my favourite one. I just really like the colours, but like also like they've all got the same vibe, but this one, I don't know, I just think it looks really cool. On the back of this we've got an excerpt from Nick's journal, which is kind of, I guess, like playing as our synopsis, and it just says, I think I'm in love with Charlie. This summer with him and our friends has been amazing, and I want to say I love you, but I guess we've had other things to worry about lately. And I think it really just shows what to expect from the book. Like they're very much in love, they're very much going to be there for each other, but there are a lot of other stuff going on in lives that they need to figure out. So yeah, I'm going to take this out with me. We're going to go for a little walk, so hopefully I'll be able to start it whilst we're out, and then I'll finish it when we are back and let you know what I thought. So yeah, that's the next plan. I'm really excited to reread this one. Like I've never reread this one, like I've read it the once, and then after this one I also get to read volume 5, which is completely new. Like I don't know what's going to happen. Obviously I've read the novella Nick and Charlie, so I know the direction we're heading, but I don't know what's actually going to take place during volume 5. So yeah, very excited to read this and kind of catch up to where my brain already knows we're at, and then be able to continue on. Hello. Somehow it's really late. It's 1:45. I probably finished this book like half an hour ago and just haven't caught up, updated, but this is amazing. This is my favourite one of all the ones that I've read. Like, this book just goes so much deeper and talks about so many more things than the others, or at least in more detail, and I just think everything it does so well. The way mental health treatments, mental health recovery is spoken about in this book is so caring, so gentle, so nice, and it's really done in a way that's just so respectful, but also doesn't shy away from it. It doesn't put any like negativity towards it. It's very much just like normal part of life, and it just feels great. Really enjoyed this one. It just mainly focus on Charlie's mental health and eating disorder, so it is a bit heavier than the other books, so if trigger warnings are something you need, then I would definitely recommend looking them up for this one. All the trigger warnings can be found on Alice Oseman's website for like every book that she's written. The boys have decided it's playtime even though it's almost midnight, but yeah, really lovely. Charlie does get like diagnoses in this book as well, like, you know, he ends up spending time in a treatment centre, he ends up getting diagnoses, and they are given in such a like caring and open and talkative manner, and it's just really lovely to read about. I don't really have much else to say. If you enjoyed the first 3 volumes, you're going to enjoy this one as well, even though it is heavier. Just the nature of the book, the nature of the graphic novel, everything is still lovely and caring and gently dealt with, and yeah, it's just really great. I would highly recommend. So yeah, that is that one. So I have decided, even though I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'm going to pick this up this evening. This is volume 5 and it's the only volume that I haven't read yet. This is the penultimate volume. There will be one more volume coming out in 2024, but this is the most recent one that came out 3 months ago now. So yeah, really want to get to this one. On the back it says Nick and Charlie are in love, and then you've got a picture of a laptop and it says University Road Trip Itinerary, Tara, Elle and Nick. So I'm guessing a lot of this is going to centre around like the Green Gate University and going to university. And then it says, but what happens next? So yeah, I'm guessing this is just them figuring that out. I'm guessing this is going to be them talking about what happens when Nick goes to university and Charlie's still at school. And yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this one, but I'm really looking forward to reading it and giving it a go. So yeah, I'm probably going to start it now. I'm getting really tired, so I'm probably just going to read a little bit and then go to bed, and I will finish it in the morning and tell you my thoughts and feelings. Okay, let's talk about it. Volume 5 was amazing. I'm definitely giving it 5 stars. No, like, if you want to know my favourite, I think my favourite volume is still volume 4, but volume 5 was so good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed reading it. In this one we really see kind of like Nick and Charlie learning to be like themselves as individuals whilst being in the relationship, and kind of like making decisions for themselves, and then still having the other one there to like support them and be happy for them because they want the best for them. And it was really lovely to read. In this one we see Nick and Charlie deciding whether they want to take the next step in the relationship and actually have sex, or if they're not wanting that yet, or if they're not wanting that at all, and having those conversations. And then also having the conversations of what is sex, like both with themselves and with friends, and those are like such important conversations to have, and I think they're really lovely to like have been included in such a lovely way. Then we also see Nick along with Elle and Tara going, I think it was like 4 or 5 days, but going on this trip around a few universities and looking into what universities they're going to want to go to, and having to make those decisions and seeing what university they, you know, vibe with and feel best at. And I feel like that was shown really well as well, because like, you know, look, I didn't finish university, but I did go for the first year, and really like going to universities and going around, it really is just on vibes. You know, like you get a few hours on a campus and it's whether you vibe with it or whether you don't, and how you feel there as to how you make that decision. And it really felt like the way that that was shown was really good. Like it really made sense, it felt very natural, it felt very real. And yeah, we see Nick having to make those decisions and having the conversations, you know, with these friends, and Nick having these conversations with friends about what university is going to look like and what it will look like for themselves, and also what it will look like for their relationships. And it was really lovely. So yeah, cannot recommend it more. If you've enjoyed the first 4 books in the series, keep going, read the 5th. It was great. And yeah, I really want the 6th one to come out, but I also don't want it to end. I mean, I do. I think it's going to end well. Like, I feel like book 6 is going to be really lovely for them all, and hopefully we just see them all sent off in a really lovely way. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. I really hope that you enjoyed coming along with me and, you know, reading the 5 Heartstopper graphic novels over this, well, long weekend. I started on Friday and it's now Monday morning, but I had a really good time and I took it really slow and had a really good time with them and got to think about it. Oh, and my camera's about to die, it's really flashing, but I also finished my bullet journal setup and this is what it ended up looking like, and I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really cool and I managed to get my thoughts down on all of them. And yeah, I'm really happy. I had a really good weekend and I really love these graphic novels. So yeah, that's it from me. Do give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe down below for see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.